Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Wokey, and I'm back with another fake Grand Order video, and what are we going to be talking about today? Today we're going to be talking about the 22 million downloads campaign, because the info for it finally came out, and I've been waiting to talk about this, because I wanted to see if they were going to add Kingprotea, and they did! So today's video is going to be going over that, so let's get right into it. So, 22 million downloads campaign, it should start on January 30th, and it will last until February 6th. The main info for a login bonus. Log in over 7 days to get 10 silver apples, 10 golden apples, 10 million QP, 10 5-star EXP, 10 silver foe of both HP and attack, and then 30 Saint Quartz on the 7th day. For a special login, this will be for 5 days. Cumulative, so that means that you don't have to be consecutive, you can just have it over 5 days. But you should be doing 7 days in a row. Just so you can get that 30 Saint Quartz, come on, lock in. Anyway, on the first day it's 200 mana prisms, on the next day it's a golden foe, and then the day after is another golden foe. One is of HP and the other one is attack. I can never remember which is which based off of the art. And then a rare mana prism on the 4th, and then on the 5th you get a lore. And there will be some limited time campaigns during this download celebration. 2 times Great and Super Suck chance. A chance of getting a Great and Super Suck in Servants and Craft Essence enhancements are doubled. 1/2 AP campaigns, 1/2 AP for all Ember Gathering and Training Ground daily quests. Ereshkigal, or which I'll call Erish from this point on, because I know there are people who hate that I pronounce her name that way, even though I think that's exactly how she says it in when you summon her, but whatever. Will also be available as a support NPC for those daily quests, 1/2 AP for all free quests. The 1/2 AP for free quests only applies for the first 3 times a free quest is cleared. From the 4th time onwards, the AP cost will be a regular one. Basically, get your Saint Quartz from it, and then you're done. They don't want you to farm it for materials. And to get this specific free quest, you have to, the 1/2 AP for free quest, you have to have cleared Nahu Mikdalan, which is Lost Belt 7. I have also felt very good that a lot of people told me, hey, don't feel bad about this. I'm from Mexico, and I cannot pronounce this very effectively. It's not easy. It's very tough. It made me feel much better about me being bad at it. Anyway, new extra master missions. These are permanent, and this is just for raising skills. Raise 1 skill to level 2, get 1 Saint Quartz. Raise it to level 3, get 3 silver foe, get level 4, level 5, level 6, level 7, level 8, level 9, and then level 10 to get additional 3 silver foe, a Saint Quartz, 100 mana prisms, another Saint Quartz, 3 Saint Quartz, and 3 Saint Quartz. So that's a total of 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Saint Quartz. So that'd be 30 as you get through the raise 6 skills to level 10. Not bad, as long as you do that. This is one of those ones where it's like, if you already completed this, don't worry, these missions will be complete, and you just get some for free 30 Saint Quartz and a bunch of silver foe and some mana prisms. And if you're a new player, this will, I guess, incentivize you to get these skills, which you should already be doing. Shouldn't be too hard to raise 6 skills to level 10. It shouldn't be that difficult. Unless you're only doing it for 5 stars, I guess, and you're ignoring MASH. Like, MASH alone is like 3 skills in herself. And it's very easy to do, so. But I guess there's also people who ignore MASH. I don't know why they would, but anyway, let's move on. Inside the Da Vinci Workshop, there'll be a limited time shop exchange, where for the regular mana prisms, you can get the quick code opener, the arts card opener, the buster card opener, 3 of each of those. 5 summon tickets, 5 sets of 10, 5 EXP, which will be a total of 50. Same thing goes for the 4 EXP. This is 50 of 4 EXP, exchangeable in packs of 10 for 5. And then finally you can get 20 silver foe of both attack and HP, and a pretty simple cost at that. And then if you want to go for rare mana prisms, there's the beast footprints, or the foe footprint, whatever it's called, code remover, and then golden foe for HP and attack, and 20k friend points that you can exchange for 5 times if that's so what you wish. Most people just usually end up picking up the summon tickets and maybe the foes. Kind of depends, but for sure, make sure to pick up those summon tickets. It's literally just free summons for 100 mana prisms. Absolutely worth it. Inside the rare prism shop, take romance. You can buy this. If you missed out on it, you can exchange the ability to get it. This is so weird to me. So basically, you exchange 1 rare mana prism. It unlocks mana prism in the shop. And then you can spend 1,000 mana prisms to get 1 copy, and if you want to get all 5 copies, it costs 5,000, and that is the basic rare prism shop update. In terms of what this one does, it gives QP drops and Mastery XP. Maximum Broken is 5% for both of them, and it features Romani, I think, drinking tea with a spoon. I don't drink very much tea. Is that something you just do? I don't know. Feel free to tell me. He's looking back as well. He might be eating... Actually, you know what? Now that I take further look at the picture, I think there's like a cake here. He might be... He might not be drinking tea with a spoon, and it might actually be this. It might not actually be tea now that I think about it. It could be just coffee. Anyway, we found out that mystery together. Don't leave a comment about anything I just said. And now, finally, we get to the banner, and I get to my designated water break. One moment. Okay, so the banners. There's 2 banners, one featuring Ereshkigal, or Eresh, and the other one featuring Kingprotea. And on the 30th is when Eresh will come out, and on the 1st of February is when Kingprotea's banner will show up. Both of them will have the same craft essences, Goddess of the Underworld and Flower Sunshine. Goddess of the Underworld is a 5-star that gives plus 4% NP charge each turn, NP gain plus 10%, and NP damage plus 10%. And Flower Sunshine has Arts and Buster plus 10% and NP overcharge level plus 2. And most importantly, it has some very nice, cute art of Eresh on top of it. And this one even comes with Ishtar on it. Very cool, very nice. I don't know. It's probably not worth it to go summoning specifically for the CE unless you're a big fan of the art. It's a nice added bonus, though, for sure, as you fail to get the 5-star. And, of course, Kingprotea will unfortunately not feature Passion Lip. So this is, of course, the banner that was supposed to be here for New Year's, but they replaced Kingprotea with Melt. So it was a Melt and Lip banner, and now Kingprotea is here, but there's no Lip, because now this is related to Lost Belt 7. And, of course, that means no Passion Lip on the banner. Very unfortunate if you were trying to get both at the same time. It is kind of a bummer, and in general, I feel it feels like a weird... They could have just added Lip, to be 100% real with you. I don't know why they just did it. But, you know, if I had to question every single decision FGO made regarding Lip, I could make an entire hour-long video. How dare you make her the center focus on that summer event and then not release the stupid fucking costume. Alright, calm. Tranquilo. Let's talk about Eresh, shall we? I missed that click. Don't pay attention to that. Ereshkigal, or Eresh, as I keep forgetting to just call her because it's easier for me. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it on purpose. I said her name as that for so long until I learned that people didn't like it. Anyway, Eresh. She's a Lancer. 2 quick, 1 arts, 2 buster, 4 hits on quick, 6 hits on arts, 1 hit on buster, and 4 hits on extra. Her first skill, the second Crown A+, is not in the game at the moment for NA because this happened on JP, and it happened during 2024, I believe. So that means we don't get this until 2026 next year. So yeah, we don't even have Evocation Festival Part 1, so we're not getting Part 7 anytime soon. So this is what it's going to be on NA for at least another year. The Secret Great Crown A, chance to grant self debuff immunity for 1 turn, chance to grant self instant kill immunity for 1 turn, chance to increase own buff removal resistance by 100% for 1 turn, grant self invincibility for 1 turn. The debuff immunity chance is 80%, 80%, and 80% for all 3 of them, and this is on a cooldown of 6. And to see how the buff is for the future, it's the 80% is changed to 100%. The cooldown is the same, but now she has an additional effect, which is reduce own skill cooldown by 1, making it a much better skill. I'll get to talking about how I feel about this skill a little bit later, but let's move on. Mana Burst Cage A+, increase own buster performance for 1 turn, charges own MP gauge. 50% to buster, 50% to NP, and on a cooldown of 6. Her third skill is... Okay, come on game, don't... Blessing of Kerr EX. Grants the party the Blessing of Kerr buff for 3 turns, it's unstackable. Increases party's defense for 3 turns. Increases party's MP generation rate for 3 turns, and then increases party's max HP for 3 turns. Here's a special note, the Blessing of Kerr enable additional effects from Eresh's NP. 20% to defense, MP rate up is 30%, and the max HP is 3000 on a cooldown of 6. Her passive skills are Magic Resistance D, Territory Creation A+, and Goddess Essence B. Her third skill is an Anti-Assassin Attack Damage Aptitude. And her Noble Phantasm, which is after a Strengthening, which we already have in the game right now, is the Ereshkigal the Bellows of Kerr that trample upon Ikur. well, let's go with that. Rank A+, it's anti-mountain. It hits 5 times. It's a buster. It deals damage to all enemies. It deals an additional 150% extra damage if the enemy has the Earth attribute. Increases the attack of allies with the Blessing of Curb buff by 20% for 3 turns. Increases the critical attack chance resistance by 20% for 3 turns, and then grants them an instant kill immunity for 3 turns. At MP level 1, it's 400% damage, and if you get her all the way to MP level 5, it's 600%. And her overcharge effect is an increase of own buster performance for 1 turn. This activates first. At charge level 1, it's 10%, and if you get her all the way to the final charge level, it is 50%. And I didn't mention it during the download campaign, but she does have a brand new outfit, which you can get after you completed Lost Belt 7, I believe. Which I won't show the final art here in case you just want to see it for later, but it is really nice. It's a nice little sprite here. I was looking forward to this for years. 2 years since they announced it. Everything I've looked for. I love Lost Belt 7 and everything have it. I just wish I had time to actually go through the story. So don't tell me why she's like this. I have a feeling I know based off of what's happened already, but please don't leave spoilers. I'm still going through it. So anyway, that is Eresh. So how is she? She's really good, first of all. It's a little bit weird because I have to always bring this up whenever I talk about a Buster Lancer, but the absolute best Buster Lancer in the game is Melusan, especially on the NA version currently. That unit is so crazy good that if you already have her, it makes it very hard to justify having other Lancer AoEs, but now that that's out of the way, I can talk about how this specific unit is. I think she's actually great. I can't wait for this buff here, because the worst thing about her is this first skill being 80%. I know there's ways to play around it. There are units that make it so you can get that 20% additional chance so that it's always 100%, but I've always been annoyed that this is always 80%, even if in theory it's a bunch of stuff where it's like, this would be nice to have if you were going against a specific boss that had like you wanted to have a debuff immunity for a turn, you wanted to have instant kill immunity for a turn, and then you wanted a way to keep your buff safe. It's just annoying that it's like, I got 2 of these, but then the third one, I lost out on the 20%. So thankfully, JP does fix that, and then give it an additional effect of reducing on skill cooldown, which with the way JP is now, having this 5th skill, which is skill reloading, which lets you reduce the cooldowns of skills by 1, it means that she can probably get her skills back pretty damn quick. So I think it makes her very nice. She's a very easy unit to loop with. If you don't know what looping is, I'll tell you right now. To Buster Loop, the most basic form of it is 2 Koyanskayas and an Oberon. And what you do is that you have a unit that's able to give himself 100% NP on turn 1, either through the use of a 50% NP'er, like this one right here, or a 30%, and then you also have to give your unit mana loading, which is the second skill right here, so that it's 50%. Give him a 50% starting NP charger. You make sure that they're able to use all their skills on turn 1, and then on the next turn you use double Koyan. Koyan has an ability that reduces skill cooldown, so that it makes it so that on turn 6, or if it's 5, it comes back immediately. But if it's turn 6, it means that on the next turn you will get this skill back, and then on the final skill you can use all these, including the ability to charge your own NP, and then swap into Oberon and go from there. The nice thing about Buster units that have a 50% NP gauger is that they, one, can be used with unmax limit broken grind CEs in a lot of events, such as the Valentine's Day one coming up. It means that you don't have to max limit break it first. It means that it can be used with the 50%er, the 30% NP charger, and then giving yourself mana loading, and it kind of is nice that you can work it that way. It's an added bonus of the 50%ers that is very nice, so that's very good for her. And that's the basic Buster looping. I always bring it up because there's always a new player that goes, hey, thank you very much for doing it. And even if some of the older players get a little bit annoyed, it's like, why do you explain that every single time? It's to help out people like that. And I'm okay with you being annoyed with me, and you can bring it up if you feel so inclined. But as long as it helps one person, I will always do it. So it's really nice that she can do that. And the Blessing of Curse stuff is also pretty nice, so it means that she can be a little bit of a support in some specific challenge quests that maybe you can take advantage of her ability to give instant kill immunity. Which is very nice, and plus a critical attack chance can also come in very clutch, because in some fights a single critical hit is enough to completely destroy your unit completely. It's very unfortunate. And of course 150% extra damage against earth elements just makes it so that if you're fighting anyone with earth, she's just going to do that much more damage. And if you're in a challenging quest, that will also help out a little bit on the fact that she doesn't have a single target NP and is being used for a challenge quest. It could make up the deficit, basically. So overall, I think she's a fantastic unit. Really good, just not the best. Which is, to be fair, not a lot of units can compare to Melusine and her stupidness. It's mainly because Melusine can be easily grinded with the Black Rail. And I think pretty soon there will probably be a way for Eresh to do it as well. So maybe it will help a little bit if you have the specific setups for it. But the point is, and the most important thing here is, which I'll say at the end here, is that people like Eresh because it's Eresh. And therefore, what she actually does doesn't matter to most people. It's kind of like an added bonus. And I can say right now, if you're a fan of Eresh, you'll love this unit because you're able to do plenty of stuff with it. You can do some interesting stuff in challenge quests if you so choose to use her that way, and you can easily loop with her, which I feel like is enough for most people to go like, alright, that's all I really want from one of my favorites. I want the ability to use them, I want them to not be weak in damage, and that's basically it. I think that's what most people want, and for those people there, which is the most important part, which already decided to summon on her way before I ever made this video, there you go. So that's Eresh. Best of luck to you if you're summoning. Mine is NP level 2, and I absolutely love her, and I can't wait to use some more of her after this costume comes out, because I can't wait. Next unit to talk about, Kingprotea. Kingprotea? Or Kingprotea, I don't actually remember. How do you say it yourself, actually? Let's see.
Master. Master. Alter Ego, Kingprotea.
Protea. Sure. There we go. Kingprotea. Anyway, Kingprotea. Let me completely ignore what she said and just call her way whatever I've always been calling her. She's an alter ego. She has 1 quick, 2 arts, 2 buster, 3 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 1 hit on buster, 6 hits on extra. Her first skill has 2 strengthenings to it. One moment because I need to sneeze. Okay, I sneezed. This ability right here is not up on the NA version of the game. It's only on JP, which it will be here when Archetype Inception Chapter releases, which is not until 2026. So it's going to be a little while before you can actually get a hold of it. But this is the current version of it. It's huge scale C+. Grant self infinite growth regeneration buff for 10 turns. That's unstackable. Infinite growth. Grant self a growth buff and NP damage resistance up growth buff every turn for 10 turns. Growth increases own max HP permanently, max 10 stacks. MP damage resistance up. Growth increases own MP damage resistance by 8% permanently, max 10 stacks. And the HP that you get from those max HP stacks at level 10 is 4,000. And this is on a cooldown of 10. And then the upgraded version of this is she now gets an increase to own buff removal resistance for 1 time 10 turns. And she can charge her own MP gauge, and, most important, it's on a cooldown of 6 now, which is pretty damn huge, and I'll explain a little bit more as we get to the end. But let's continue on. Infantile Regression C reduces own skill cooldown by 1, charges own MP gauge per HP growth, buff stacks. 500% chance to remove own infinite growth, HP growth, NP damage resistance up growth, and buff removal resistance up by huge scale B buffs. Demerit. The 1 stack per NP plus is 20% on a cooldown of 5. The third skill is the Giant Monster of the Great River B, which should be in the game already. Increase own attack for 3 turns, not 10 turns. Increase own HP, NP damage, nope. Increase own NP damage per HP growth buff stack for 3 turns. 40% to attack and 10% to 1 stack of NP damage on her. Okay. 1 stack NP damage up, 10%. So for each HP growth, 10%. Just making sure that I said that right, because of some of her abilities are kind of easy to crosswire when you're trying to quickly talk about them. Cooldown of 5. Madness Enhancement A+, Independent Action B, Territory Creation EX, Goddess Essence A, and High Servant EX are all her passive skills. Her pen skill for the third skill is an anti-ruler attack damage aptitude. And her Noble Phantasm is the Arvata King-sized, the colossal figure emerged from the Sea of Life, rank E, anti-unit, hits 5 times its buster. If HP growth buff is present, increase own buster performance by 20% for 1 turn. Activates first, and then deal damage to all enemies. 300% damage at MP level 1, and if you get her all the way to MP level 5, it's 500%. And then increase on Buster performance for 1 turn, activates first. At charge level 1, it's 20%, and if you get her all the way to the final charge level, it's 60% Buster increase. And just similar to Erish, she does have 2 costumes thanks to Lost Build 7, which are both very nice. Very cool looking, and the final Ascension art is also very nice, but I will save it for a later time, I guess, just in case there's someone out there who doesn't want to be spoiled by that. But I always look at those instantly, like 2 years and way back in time. I'm not that crazy in terms of avoiding stuff. At least I'll look at art. Anyway, so how is Kingprotea? So, similar to Erish, I'll say this at the start because I think it's really important before I get going. A lot of people really like Kingprotea, and for that reason alone, they've already decided to summon on him. So take that into mind as I talk about some of the stuff about her. Take also into mind that on the JP version of the game, it's a little bit different, and I'm going to be talking about the NA version. Just because for most people, they want to know how the unit is now, and they like that the unit gets better in like a year in the future, but I want to use them now. How are they now? So I'll be talking about that. So she's a little bit of a weird unit. In terms of being able to get crazy damage with her, it's possible. If you're able to get all her buffs stacked up, especially over 10 turns, and you have a whole buttload of HP buffs, you can deal a lot of damage with Kingprotea. Like an insane amount of damage. And for an AoE unit dealing that much damage, it's really, really crazy. The problem is that how many scenarios are you going to get that? It's usually in challenge quests, which fair enough. A challenge quest could, in theory, last 10 turns. But during those 10 turns, people are going to try and attack Kingprotea. Now, you'll notice that in terms of what she does, Kingprotea has a lot of ways of giving herself HP growth and NP resistance. But in terms of actual defense, she doesn't have a lot of that. Her main defense is that her HP gets crazy high. And I'll give you that. Her HP does get to a crazy high level. But if you don't have the defense to kind of go with it, like you don't have guts, you don't have some way to give damage reduction on normal attacks, 1 crit is enough to basically end your entire life, and then that's kind of it for it. So take that in mind. I'm not saying that it's specifically a bad unit. I'm saying it's a unit that requires you to play better than you would with most other units, because a lot of other units, a lot of the best ones in the game, you simply just click on their skills and then that's it. For Kingprotea, it becomes a game of like waiting it out, and the units like that can be super fun. Like Hijikata, for the longest time, I thought was a unit that was like, okay, you put so much time and effort into him, and it's like, why would you ever do that? But then when I actually did use him and started to play around with his specific like stats and buffs and his skills and started thinking of him that way, it was a ton of fun to use him. And for that reason alone, I think Kingprotea will probably find a lot of people a very fun playstyle. Because for a lot of people, it's not enough to just be a looper. They can do anything about that. Some people want a unit that's distinct and different from a lot of other units. And such, it's really weird because in FGO, a lot of people do want units that aren't just used for looping purposes or just they hit really hard. But then when those units come out, people complain that they're not good enough. And it's like, well, yes, because they're different, and so you have to play them different, and it's a whole weird mess of things anyway. So I feel like she ends up being good, but it just requires you to also be good at the same level. And if you're not willing to meet her at that level, then I guess you just really don't deserve Kingprotea. But if you are someone who wants to meet her at that level, then I guess you are the one that does deserve him, and you're willing to go with him. The other thing I'll say is that in terms of looping, they're very weird. You can do it. The problem is infantile regression. So the way to get the HP growths, you would technically get 40% on the 3rd turn, which is unfortunately not enough. 40% is actually pretty bad in terms of gaining NP, because it's not 50%. And it's just 10% more of 30%. So it makes her a little bit weird to kind of do a lot of stuff with her. So you kind of have to go out of your ways. But some of this does get fixed thanks to the charge on MP gauge. Which, again, I'll say that this specific buff goes a long way of helping her be just a generic looper that you can use. Because I think the main issue is that you have to kind of like really think of a team that works for her. As opposed to just being a generic, okay, I'm going to slap a Vitch, 2 Vitches on the team and an Oberon, and I'm good to kind of go brainless. I think you have to put a little bit more thought into it than just that, which is unfortunate if you're into a mindless grind. But thankfully, eventually, you will unlock the ability to be mindless. It's just gonna take a little bit, and it's nice that she has that. So that's Kingprotea. I don't think I'll be doing a summon video for her, only because I need to save what I have for Pope Joan, and then I have to kind of go from there, which is a shame because I would actually like Kingprotea. I think my brother is probably gonna. I don't know if he was able to get Cuckoo. Actually, I never asked him again. But he definitely is a big Kingprotea fan, and he would love to have summoned on her when her banner showed up on New Year's. But now she's been placed after Cuckoo, so that means a lot of people likely lost their funds for them. I know plenty of people who were like, Kingprotea's not here, Melt's here, I guess I'll summon for Melt. And it's like, well, that really sucks. If you're looking for Kingprotea, because she was just a ways away, just like 3 weeks away or so, and now she's here. But thankfully, all the people who were saving for her can finally summon for her. It's unfortunate that Lip's not on it, but I know that there were plenty of people who were specifically looking forward to her. And I hope that you're able to get her, and I wish you all the best of luck. And finally, that's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It does help out the channel a whole bunch. If you have anything to say about the units I talked about here, for example, Kingprotea, I don't have, so I would love to have more of a perspective from someone who has her and how they currently feel about her. I did talk to someone when I talked about her previously, because I remember being like, she's kind of a weird unit, and that was before the buff happens, but I needed to know a little bit more. And I talked to him, and he says, like, yeah, I kind of feel similar in that she takes a lot of effort to put into. She has a lot of jank to her that you kind of have to mess around with. But if you can get around that, then she becomes a really fun unit to use, and I like her. So, of course, I would love to have more buffs for her down the line. So, he did get one of those buffs. Hopefully, there's more buffs planned for it. How many buffs until Kingprotea is truly enough is enough, until she can easily do everything that you want? Probably a defensive skill would be nice of some kind, I think. I would also like to hear if you think that's enough for a lot of people. If she needs it or not. Maybe having that much HP isn't good enough. I don't know. I guess also something to take note. Some people find the Alter Ego class to be a little bit hard to work with. I usually never have that problem, but I understand that if you're ever in a situation where you're fighting someone of their disadvantage, it's kind of lame. And then my usual go-to is like, I'm very rarely in those situations. So it doesn't really apply to me. But anyway, that's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. You have a good day now. Peace out!